Just yesterday, I was rereading The Mental Game of Baseball and skimmed through the goal setting section and came across don't goals, or habits of negative thoughts, which we all have. I call them ants, automatic negative thoughts. But the book talks about eliminating the word don't out of your vocabulary. And why is that so important? Well, the body tends to do what it hears most clearly, and the mind tells the body what it sees most clearly. That's some deep thoughts. So thinking about what you don't want to have happen greatly increases the chance that it will happen. And the author explains a few scenarios with Major League players like Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy fell into the trap of saying, I don't want to strike out as much this year. And he set that goal in his 1983 season, and that can translate to, I don't want to miss this pitch, which is not helpful at all. And then it's like he was predicting his own fate there. And that same season, I believe it was that same season, Steve Sax was having a horrible time with the yips. And yips, yeah, for those of who aren't familiar with that term, yips are a mental block where athletes, they can tend to overthink, and that overthinking disrupts their muscle memory, and that can lead to fear, it can lead to a breakdown in their performance, and it can affect athletes' confidence and their consistency. And that often comes to athletes suddenly. So anyway, those are what the yips are. Steve Sax was having a hard time making a simple throw to first if he had time to make the throw. And it got so bad that the fans were wearing helmets actually in the stands to protect themselves from his wild throws. So of course he wanted to help find a solution to this problem. And one suggestion was, which is horrible, is Steve, just don't think about throwing the ball away. Just don't think about that, Steve. Again, using the word don't didn't help because it falls into the same category as Dale Murphy's issue, using the word don't in I don't want to strike out this year. And they were so focused on what they didn't want to have happen that it made the problem worse for both of them, for the two of them. So we see this all the time. If you haven't heard the story of my daughter Danny learning to ride her bike, I created a video on it, and I'll be sure to put it in the link below to that one later if you missed it. But long story short, she'd been trying to ride her bike without training wheels. And for a few months, because she was focused on what she didn't want to have happen, which I talked to her and she's like, Dad, I just don't want to fall. So she consistently said in her mind, don't fall, don't fall. And she was so focused on what she didn't want to have happen, not on what she wanted, and which was to ride her bike. So once she focused on what she wanted, she immediately started riding without putting her feet quickly to the ground, going from 5 months to wanting to ride her bike to a couple of minutes. And that makes me think of another situation. One day I was working with one of my pitchers, and he was throwing against the back of a batting cage. And this kid, he never struggled with control. He was known for throwing strikes. And this day was no exception. We were almost done with his bucket of baseballs when his mom goes down to pick up some of them on the side, and she was a good 8 feet away, picking them up over here as they bounced off the net. So he continues to start throwing, and out of the blue, his first pitch when his mom was there, he about hit her. And we both just stopped and stared at each other for a second in disbelief, and then I said, hey, hold up. I know exactly what you said to yourself. Now, I'm not a mind reader. I said, but before you threw the last pitch, and he kind of looked at me and he said, really? You know what I said? I said, yeah. In your mind, you said, I hope I don't hit my mom. And he's like, how did you know that? I said, well, because you always throw strikes, and all of a sudden, your mom goes down there several feet away to pick up a few baseballs, and you almost hit her. That never happens to you. So again, when he said, I hope I don't hit my mom, it translates to something he's trying to avoid. But he planted that in his mind So it increases the likelihood of it actually happening. So work on eliminating the word don't in your vocabulary when you're setting your goals, and focus on what you want to have happen. So, what can you or should you say when you talk to yourself? Which we all do, right? We're on the mound, we're in gymnastics, whatever. You want to stop thinking of potential mistakes by instead using present-focused self-talk. So, for example, you might repeat things like, right here, right now, or one good play in a row, one good pitch in a row. I like to use watch this to help me stay present and create the vision in my mind of how I want things to go. So whatever self-talk you choose, you want to make sure it's simple, you want to make sure it's positive, and it's focused on what you're doing, the present task at hand. So my invitation to you is I want you to start noticing your inner dialogue. Start asking yourself questions that help you become aware of the voice that's going on in your head. And you may even ask yourself, how do I speak to myself? What tone am I using when I speak to myself? This one's huge. Tone matters just as much as your words do. If you say, I suck with anger, that hits very differently than I messed that up when you say it calmly, but neither one of those helps you perform. But once you become aware of your tone, you want to change it. You want to shift it from harsh, emotional self-talk to more of a confident, coach-like voice, one that pulls you back to the present and directs your focus forward. So the goal isn't to beat yourself up, of course. The goal is to talk to yourself in a way that helps you execute the next play. And you may also ask, in what situations trigger my inner voice? By the way, that inner voice in your head is just a voice. It's not true. We lie to ourselves all the time. It's not factual information. Another question you might ask is, how does this voice make me feel? But that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully that helps. If this message resonated, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where I break down practical mental performance tools athletes you can use immediately. You can use it before games, during competition, and after mistakes. And if you want personalized guidance, if you want accountability and real change, not just information, I also offer one-on-one mentoring where I train these skills together and apply them directly to you, obviously, and directly to your sport and your life. So visit dangazway.com, fill out a brief contact form, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I'm able. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.